Hello everybody, and it's me in front of the camera again. I don't really have anything in mind for this video, so to speak. I don't like how I delivered that sentence right there, but because this is one of my casual videos, I'm not going to reshoot it. That's louder than I want it to be. Yeah, I don't have anything really in mind for this video. I just sort of wanted to record something because I felt like it, and if I'm honest, I made the thumbnail for this video first and I found it really funny, and then I was like, well, I gotta use this for my next video. But I realized my next video is a video that actually, excuse you, that actually needs a proper thumbnail. This music is too epic for this moment. So I decided, you know what, why don't I just record another silly nonsense video in order to have a video to use for that thumbnail. Bit backwards here, but that's fine. I'm recording it on my little red camera, which those of you who have been around for a while will remember that I filmed a lot of stuff on the old channel with this, and the early bike episodes on this channel, as well as some vlog stuff like the Christmas burger review and things like that were filmed on here. So if you're wondering why it looks kind of shitty, that's why. I have it on the higher quality setting though, which I've never filmed on, so that will be interesting to see what that looks like. As for the loud ass music you're hearing, I am currently listening to this record set, Reader's Digest Mood Music for Listening and Relaxation, which is a 9-record set of instrumental music, which is all very moody, varying moods, so it's kind of vague. But there's a lot of classicals, like jazz tracks as well, classic movie soundtrack stuff like Moon River and things like that, yada yada. It has so many discs, in fact, that I can't fit all of them on my record changer's like stack thing. I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I was able to fit 8, and in my 9-disc set, there's actually a bonus 10th disc, and I don't know where it comes from, because it has like an identical styled sleeve, but it's not numbered, because all of them look like this. You can see they're all like different colors, but they have the numbers on them. And then there's Moonlight Piano, which is just by itself and is not numbered, but it came with it, so I don't know. I like the way the packaging is. So I showed you the big box before, and you slide this into it, and this folds down and has your track list, everything except Moonlight Piano, and then it has all your discs up here, which I thought was a very nice way to package this. Something I have actually kind of been thinking to myself about recently is record packaging, and one specific aspect of it that seemingly is less common now. I'm going to do an example here, and I'm going to pull out 2 albums. The first one I'm going to pull out is Hot Streets by Chicago from 1978, which, first of all, fantastic album if you haven't heard it. I think this would be classified as prog rock, progressive rock. Very good. I like it a lot. Worth a listen. And then the other album I'll bring out is Igor by Tyler the Creator. Also a fantastic album. This album is from, I think, 2018? 2019. So, like 40 years later. But these are both single disc sets that have a fold out and some interesting stuff in the middle. So actually a good comparison point here, because they both have that feature of having some stuff in the middle. This one has the credits for all of the people involved, all the band members, and then a big group photo, which is nice. And then Tyler's album has, what does it have in the middle again? A photo of Tyler, and then song credits for all of the individual songs. Equally cool. Now, when I remove the records from these, there will be a detail you probably notice immediately. And I'm going to turn this down even more, because I'm having to kind of yell over it. But when we take out the sleeve and the disc for this, you'll see that it has the Chicago logo on the front, as well as all of the lyrics for the songs on the back. It's also got a hole in the bottom, so the disc is coming out. Ignore that. But you've got all this stuff on it. And then when I pull out Igor, that's all you get. A blank white sleeve with a little cutout in the middle so you can see what's in it. Now, that's fucking lame. And a lot of new releases are like that, which I think is interesting. And even a lot of new releases of old albums that used to have stuff like this now have boring sleeves like this. And I think that's really shitty, because I think it's a bit of like a cost-cutting measure, probably, is what it is. And with how expensive vinyls are these days, like I think this release of Igor was almost $50 Canadian. Come on, man, you couldn't have printed something on it and made it a slightly nicer sleeve? I'm sorry, what, like, you're not saving me money here. And if I'm going to shell out that much money, I want it to, like, feel premium, since that's sort of the way that records are advertised these days, is as like a premium way of owning an album. And I don't know, because it kind of leaves an icky taste in my mouth, because it feels like, well, why am I paying all that money for something that sounds kind of the same as like a cassette tape, really, or a CD that's kind of worn out, if it's not even going to have that presentation element to it, which I really like how thoroughly all the details used to go on a lot of those old releases. Now, not every old release has something interesting, and also not every new release is lacking something. But if I just pick a random record here, I picked the Police, Zenyatta Mondatta, and if we check the sleeve, we will see that my record is not actually in the sleeve, it is just next to it. But look at that. That's the sleeve for the record. Like, that's really friggin' cool. And I picked a random old record off the shelf. Now, if I do the same thing again, except I pick out a new release, we'll pick out Elevator to the Gallows by Miles Davis, which is another one of these flip-out ones, which has some nice studio photo here. Now, I don't remember what the sleeve looks like, but we're going to take a wild guess as to what it looks like, because it's also not in its sleeve. What am I doing, man? Oh, it doesn't even... This one doesn't even have a sleeve. It's got a little thingy, a present from Miles Davis to Louis Mal, but just like a forward. And then the disc is just in there. What the heck, man? So this kind of proved my point. They didn't even shell out for a sleeve. How are you gonna give me a raw record? That's crazy pants. That's like, well, I don't know. That's like if I gave you a CD. I sold you a CD that was just in like plastic wrap and nothing further. So once you opened it, it was kind of forced to just be out in the open. Now it's not quite as bad as that, but still. I'm gonna grab another new release record, and this one is gonna prove my point earlier that not all of them are blank. This is a current release, a current pressing. I think from, it didn't say, but it's from like probably within the last 5 years. I bought it last year or the year prior. Talking Heads, Remain in Light. This is cool. It has an alternate cover art and then all the credits for all the people in the band. That's nice. Now, it's minimal, it's not super exciting or anything, but it's something, you know what I mean? Like, I could put that up as a poster or something if I wanted to. Like, that's cool. That's what I want. It's just that little extra bit of detail that shows that they put some care into it, and that's kind of what I'm looking for here. And I'm going to do this again. I'm going to pick out 2 records. I'm going to pick out a new one and an old one. For the old one, I'm going to... Also, the problem is a lot of my old ones are also missing their sleeves, so that kind of counts against it. But for a new record, I'm going to pick... Sure, we'll go with Charlie Brown Christmas by the Vince Guaraldi Trio, the soundtrack to that film. And then for an old record, I will pick Heroes by David Bowie. So, oh, I dropped it. So, we're going to open this one first. We're going to see what it's like. This one's a special vinyl. It's a green vinyl, which is very cool. And I can see it already. Plain white sleeve. This one doesn't have round corners, interestingly enough, though. But I will show you the disc, which is quite cool. It's very neat. It is translucent, although you can't really tell because my lighting is in front of me and also behind me. But it is translucent, which is cool. And then we're going to see Heroes by David Bowie. Now, I also don't remember this one. I'm not even going to look. I think it's missing the sleeve. No, it does have a sleeve. And it's a plain white one. So not all old ones have an interesting cover, and see, that's fine. But I would like an interesting cover. And I find that we can already see from our little sample size here, it's a lot more common with the old ones. Again, I'll just pick a random one off the shelf here. I'm not going to look at what it is. Oh, I know this one's missing it, I think. But this is Discomania 2, which I don't even... Yeah, it doesn't even have its sleeve. So that doesn't count here. What is this? No, that one's also missing a sleeve, I remember. I don't know here. Sure, let's do Glenn Miller, A Memorial. And then we'll also pick up Bad by Michael Jackson, which I believe Bad is a new pressing? No, it's an old... Damn, I got the original pressing of this album? Yeah, it's got these stupid-ass pictures of Mike in here. Big-ass hands. He's all stretched out. I could do this in kid pics if I wanted to, like my shit-ass thumbnail for this video. Although, actually, I didn't even distort Stallone in that one. But I will put up on the screen right here. No, I won't. I don't feel like editing anything, actually. I'll make a community post on the channel with the distorted version of Stallone there if you want to see it. So go check that now. Because I don't feel like editing this video, and it's a lot easier for me to just make a community post. But I have a stupid image of Stallone. Anyway, Bad, Michael Jackson, has the lyrics for all the songs. And a little photo on the back. That's cool. That's at the very least what you should have. Because like most cassette releases and CD releases, or at least old ones anyway, used to have, in the cassettes you'd have the J card that would fold out and it had the lyrics on it. Or on CDs, sometimes your little pamphlet that was also your front cover would have the lyrics in it. And that's nice. I want to have the lyrics because I don't remember them. And then Glenn Miller, also an old one. Does this have... What is going on here? Oh, the whole thing's in a plastic slip cover. Weird. I never took that out. This is an old record. I don't know when this one's from. I apparently have never even seen the middle of it. I've listened to it before. Hello? Okay. Yeah, that should have been here. It's missing its sleeves, though. So, not a great example. But it's a good example of doing something interesting. Whoa! Record. Doing something interesting with the middle, at least. And I'm losing another record. Okay, this is why we need the sleeves, because it adds that little extra bit of friction in there, too. It doesn't just protect the record from being scratched. Okay, what's going on here? The record is in the middle. Okay, this is also why you need the sleeves, because apparently it's all one piece of cardboard and it can just go over to the other area if you have it flat. But the record sleeves protect the record, but also add that little bit extra friction that stops it from sliding out randomly. Yeah, I don't know. This is not really meant to be a video about records entirely, but I mean, while I'm at it, I'll mention 45s, which I have a decent little stack of. Now these, generally you'll only find them in the sleeves by themselves, and there's a lot of variance in what these look like, and that's mainly down to just what publishing house or record label they came from. Not all of these are in their correct sleeves, and a lot of them are also just blank ones. Like this one. Oh, this one's not blank. It's got some stuff on the back. But there are quite a lot of them that are very boring. But then you have special ones like this where it shows the name of the song, what's on the B-side, stuff like that. That's very cool. Again, some boring colored ones. There's a lot of those. I do like when they do like album art on them. That's really cool. But yeah, most of these are not very interesting. That's a cool logo. That's a cool one. Album art again. Rick Astley's just got all his album arts on these, which I appreciate. Thank you, Rick. I remember I saw Never Gonna Give You Up on a 45. I spotted it from across the aisle in a Value Village, and I started making a beeline for it, and right as I was doing that, some lady turned her head and looked at the You used to hang them off of a hook at the time, but they just a big stack of them. And she went, "Oh, never gonna give you up," and then took it and then went and bought it, and I was pissed off. That sort of thing happens to me a lot. I remember the same thing happening with a $5 bill I spotted on the ground in 8th grade, and some girl was quicker and she got it to it. Daryl Hall and John Oates have their same thing going on here. You got the information on the back and cover art in the front. So, the point is, record sleeves, regardless of the format, do vary a decent bit. I don't have my 78s here with me because they're over at my dad's right now, but those are kind of a similar case, where they're all kind of bland, brown paper with text on them, but for the most part. But they vary just what record labels on it and whatnot. That's about it, really. Yeah, also, I forgot to mention it, I think, but as you can see, this area has been beautified a little bit. Yeah, so you're used to seeing me from over there, where my computer desk is. You'd be seeing me from my webcam looking that way, which is where the loud-ass brass horns, and for what? Can you not? But you're usually looking that way, and you're looking at the TV and the bookcase, which is all behind you right now. So I'm in this little L-shaped corner, which is my little music center, where I have, you can probably just barely see it, but my record changer is here, my standing CD player is here, speakers, there's an iPod dock behind this cassette tape. Whenever I'm playing a tape, I just play whatever tape I'm listening to on the little dock there. Big headphones. My tape deck is down here. A trumpet I can barely play. Lamp. Books. All my records are down here behind me. And my tapes are also back there in a drawer. All my CDs are hidden. They're right under here above my tape deck. But they're in here. And I should have the zip closed, but all my CDs are in there. I did used to have cases for all of them, but really, like, cases are kind of pointless unless you plan to bring an individual CD somewhere or resell it or display it, and I don't really care to display my CDs, and I don't plan to resell any of them. I've already made the mistake once of getting rid of my collection of CDs. I'm not doing that again. So, convenience factor. And I do keep the booklets. So I know where to put them back. But like Mariah Carey has the booklet back there. CD goes in front of it. So I have the benefit still of the information in the pamphlets, like I mentioned. Yeah. I might go through my CD collections and whatnot on like a personal collection video at some point. If anybody would find that interesting. Go through my whole music collection maybe. Which, I mean, I started doing with the records. So let me know if any of you are interested in that. But, because I feel at this point I have a relatively sizable music collection between the 3 formats I collect, being CDs, cassette tapes, and records, all of which I listen to. Evident by the fact that there are records playing right now. So, I mean, if anybody wants to see what I've been listening to, let me know. I will gladly talk about records for a while. I'm sort of running out of things to say, so that'll probably be it from me today. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching this. I hope your day's great. I hope your next day after this is even greater, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Because that's why I make this stuff, is so that I hope people enjoy it, and also because I like doing it. So I hope you enjoyed this video as much or more than I did. Yeah. Have a great day. Bye.